Oh, yeah, there's no countdown. That's a bit spooky.
I told you this last time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dysfunctional Fitness Podcast. You're joined today by myself, Matthew Hosking, and obviously my good friend and co-host, Ben Bodycum. Yeah, we're back. No long hiatus this time. This is quite a rarity. It's only been about 2 days and we're back already. But yeah, so we've got SID UK Champs coming up. So the workouts have been released for that. So we're going to do a little deep dive, give our thoughts on the workouts, and then just talk about a few notable names who are doing the competition. But first, we're just going to go over a bit of news. Obviously, the last week, for those who follow somewhat closely, like the sport, they announced there's going to be cuts at the games this year. Obviously, that created, a lot of discussion in the space, a lot of opinions being thrown about. But yeah, we thought we'd just add our views on it. Ben, do you want to start off?
So, if you don't really have an opinion on this, like the first sort of place I'd probably go, Jason CF Media did a very comprehensive video outlining this, why cuts are good, why they're bad. I personally think that we only have 40 people ever making it to the games. Why on earth are you cutting halfway through? There's a whole host of different arguments you can make to talk about it. Castro's defended his position in his little week in review YouTube videos that he does that have gained a lot more popularity since it was announced that he was coming back as GM of sport at the games, after Justin Burke got the old sack. So he sort of said, "Oh well, the fans are tired. Come Saturday and Sunday, we've had 2 days of competition. They should be fine." Like, it's the one weekend of the year that we get like good CrossFit. Like give us more CrossFit. So the fact that that's his sort of major defense of it is a bit like, I don't really see the value of it, especially when these people have worked so hard to get there. And yes, it's their job to get there and they should be able to, perform throughout the weekend, because inevitably all of every event matters. And, if you have a particular skill set that doesn't come up until Sunday, or event one on the Sunday, then you should be able to display that, for a variety of reasons, from a sponsorship standpoint, to make your fans proud, to make your family proud, all those kinds of things. So that's sort of my position on it. Where do you stand?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much the same in terms of, I watched his video on it. He goes through all the different factors. He said that then they said he kept emphasizing they're not reasons, they're just all factors for why we made the cuts, and went through all these different things, like the judge fatigue was such a weak thing. It's like, oh yeah, the judge is getting tired. Like, just shut up.
Imagine if they were sponsored by Monster or something, so they could
exactly.
keep their caffeine levels high.
And then the vendor argument, oh yeah, we need to give fans more time between heats to go look at the vendors between events, because when there's too many heats, the transition's too quick. And it's like, well, I went in 2018 and that's when they didn't have cuts, and I can tell you there's enough time to go to all the vendors between heats. There's loads of time. It's not even that big of a campus. Everything's crammed next to each other. It's surprisingly small when you go there. You've got the stadium, you've got the big beer tent thing, you've got the big Rogue shop, you've got now the big Noble shop, which was Reebok back then, and you've got the North Park. But the North Park to the Coliseum is literally a 5-minute walk, and it's such a weak argument. And then I completely agree. And he made the point saying, we understand how hard everyone works to get there, and but then he just didn't really care about. I think if you get there, you deserve to do every workout. He makes a point that they're only testing for the best. If they're only testing for the best, then why does that not follow every competition then? Quarters, semis, one after one day, if you're in the bottom third, you just can't even do tests 3 and 4 on quarters or whatever, and then the next day you can't do them. It makes no sense. And same with you, the side, like sponsorship side of things. Like a lot of these athletes, if they're, there's some athletes who aren't, let's say, top 20 in the world, but they do have quite large followings who in turn bring, quite a large audience to CrossFit. And that in turn generates revenue for CrossFit. And then if they're not getting exposure, that actually, worsens the sport. So from a business side of things, it backfires on them. What else? It's just
talk about just to piggyback on that point a little bit. You talk about growing the sport into new territories. If your Brazilian athlete is a great weightlifter, could be talking about anyone here, and you don't lift weights until the point where they are already cut, then you're negating the potential growth and the potential social media activity in that territory. It just seems like you've got this one opportunity a year to spread the message of CrossFit to get as many eyes on the sport as possible, to help grow the affiliates, to help grow membership within those affiliates. Like, why wouldn't you highlight the higher numbers of as many athletes as possible?
Yeah, it makes sense. And then also, they don't want to get critiqued about the programming, but when you have cuts, that puts just extra pressure on the order of what you do. It's just obvious. It's not like, none of this is rocket science. Like, if you're gonna only get to do 3 events, then as an athlete, you're going to be praying those 3 events are going to be, pretty good for you. You're not going to get your worst things popping up, or it's going to be a bit of a struggle to get past the first cut, and then so on and so forth. So, and again, for the cuts, the scoring table surely adjusts as well. So back on the backside of the weekends, the later events are basically weighted more heavily. And so if it lines up well for you, you can take an advantage of that. So yeah, and that I think actually ruins the integrity more of trying to find the fittest person than they argue it helps getting rid of people. They're trying to test for the fittest. Well, if you're trying to test for the fittest, let everyone do every test, because through the weekend you always get 1 or 2 from the bottom heats who sneak up into a top 5 of an event just because it's like their wheelhouse. Okay, they're not the most well-rounded CrossFitter, but as you said, you get a lifting event, someone like in heat 4 could win the event, or like an odd skill event, like say Nick Matthew. I don't know, let's say, obviously the skill speed medley was quite early on in the competition last season, but let's say if that was day 4, second event of the day, and he's in like heat 4, but he got through it and beat everyone, or at least came second or whatever, that's going to take away points from someone else. And that's still fair on him to get those points, even though he's not going to, crack the top 20 overall, still displaying your general fitness. So yeah, I think it's just silly, but like I can understand, you do understand their point they're trying to make, but from like a spectator standpoint, in the argument that no one actually watches the bottom heats, and but at the same time,
I love the bottom heats. The bottom heats are the best part. It's where all my favorite athletes are. Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's the thing. That's from the spectator thing. They say spectators don't want to watch the bottom heats, but in CrossFit, you've only got, well, in the games, 40 athletes competing. And you don't get to see them compete year round. You see them compete like twice a year on a shoddy live stream, and you want to watch them. So yeah, regardless of where they are. So again, that just ruins the fan experience, I think, because I think they think the fan experience from terms of in person, but for everyone watching online, you want to watch like the athletes that you support. So yeah, it's just stupid, really. And they also bang on about how they can do so many more cool, crazy things when they make cuts, and they just don't. His example was, we got to let them lift one at a time in a clean event. It's like, okay, weird flex.
Logistical challenges should not be a consideration.
Yeah,
it's not difficult. I mean, like 2019, what did we get? Oh, assault bike and toes terrain. Nice, great, fantastic.
Yeah. Very silly. Yeah. Don't know what else to say on that, really.
No, it's frustrating because I don't ever feel like CrossFit makes an announcement and it's a positive one and it gets you excited for the season. CrossFit make an announcement and it makes you disappointed. You think about what could have been. That's it. Like they do nothing to to get people involved. And I think this whole thing, like, right, every single athlete is your mouthpiece, right? Is your mouthpiece to grow the sport, to show what you can do. And they don't like cuts. Nobody likes cuts from their standpoint. And so if they all have a negative attitude about it and they all go onto social media and start talking negatively about it, like Dallin Pepper obviously said, I'm not worried about cuts. But, James Sprague probably is, as an example, because he has a number of holes in his game, not necessarily because of anything else. So like you're not going to get people speaking positively about the games as an experience when all they're concerned about is missing the cut. And it completely shifts the narrative. You're not talking about I'm really excited to show off what I can do. You're talking about I'm worried about what event's going to come up when, because I might not get a chance to show off what I can do because I've got these cuts to worry about.
Yep, pretty much. And also, it's just well, Castro's video said, "Oh yeah, we gave him plenty of time, like a month's notice." As I'm pretty sure, if you're taking this seriously, you would have booked your accommodation, your plane tickets before a month out. So
Oh god, yeah, 100%.
that's a week. That's again another rubbish argument. Like you've just screwed over people again because it's costly. Like the stories of especially the Australians who have to come over. It costs so much for them to come over, and then if they're going to pay that and then come over and do 2 days of competition, yeah, bit peak.
6 events is what he spoke about. He spoke about three events a day.
Yeah.
The pinnacle is you doing the same number of events that are at SID this weekend.
Basically. Lol. But and then he said, they get like basically a regional's worth of tests to prove themselves. But when we've had cuts in the past, the programming has not been that style. So the only I wouldn't say justification, but the only what would the word be? Fair point is if they did actually make the first 6 events very well rounded. So if you had like 1 or 2 endurance events, a heavy lift, a good mix of classic CrossFit stuff. So you got like a well-rounded test within the first 6, then you have a bit more of an argument to say, okay, like we've given everyone a fair shot at a mix of things, and now the bottom 10, see you later. But again, it never happens because the way the CrossFit Games are structured, even though it's supposed to be unknown and knowable, like the last day is always classic CrossFit. Like just go look at every year of programming. And at the day 1 is usually, generally more endurance based. No, it's pretty obvious like how it's structured. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this year will be different, but it's pretty much very similar. So yeah, we shall see. Cool.
Yeah, we shall indeed.
All right, let's move on to strength and depth / UK Champs, whatever the name. I don't even know what the name of it is. It's just
SID UK Championships, but we'll just call it UK Champs.
Cool. So UK Champs workouts for it came out I don't know, about 5 days ago now. And the time we're recording on Tuesday, so the event starts on Friday. But yeah, we're just gonna go through them, break them down, have a little look at the variations because there's been quite a drop off between the elite to the RX, so that's definitely led to some
brace yourselves for somebody complaining, and it's going to be the person doing the competition. I'm not complaining. Have you got the team workouts as well? Oh, they released those on their Instagram, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm just gonna get my email up for the all the variations.
Yeah, the first workout is simple, just a 5K run, a 5K woodland run with a 30-minute time cap. Athletes have a timer chip, advance of the line, begin their 3 laps, and the athlete pass over the sense line at the end of their 3rd lap. The event is concluded in the time will be recorded for scoring. I'm guessing that it won't just be a 5K. We saw this with French Throwdown. First event was a 5K with a vest or 5K with a ruck, one of the two. Hopefully it's with a vest because rucks are horrendously bad for everyone's backs, etc. But yeah, I think that's what we're all sort of expecting. There to be a little bit of a twist on the run. I know Sid like doing a sandbag run as well with Origins, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a sandbag or something as well.
Yeah, I mean, it won't matter too much. I think if they add a ruck in or not, I think it'll be pretty. That's not going to change the test drastically. It's pretty much just standard run. But yeah, it seems like it's just the same for everyone. I think. Even in the scaling options, it says RX scaled and masters are all doing the exact same workout as elite. So it probably is just going to be the same track, and everyone's going to go off in waves. Well, woodland track. You know what I mean? Just route through the trees. But where that venue is, I don't think there's like a woodland area. So I know there's some trees, but I wouldn't say it's a woodland run. So I don't know where. Maybe they're planning on shuttle busing us somewhere, but not that I can remember when we did Arnold's. I know there's a lake right outside the venue where we're going to do the swim event, but I'm pretty sure if I can Google map search, there's not really like crazy, woodlands about, but we shall see. So yeah, that's event one. You look at the teams, or we're just gonna do individuals first and just keep going.
Yeah, just give me 30 seconds to find the teams. But I don't think have you got the variants for the team workouts? Because
I might actually on my email as well. Okay, yeah.
Because if you could forward that on to me as well, because
it's the same document I sent you. It's just
no,
it's actually I lie.
I know. Yeah, because they've got one for the individuals and one for the team.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I will say about SID is it is incredibly well organized. They always run on time. And given the fact that they have got a tremendous number of athletes going through this weekend, I'm expecting it to be very well run. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
All right, I sent you the team ones as well on your WhatsApp. Got the link to that as well.
Cool.
Well, we'll just keep going through the individuals then, because we're on that.
Yeah. We'll go teams
cool.
After.
Right. So event one was a 5K, and then event two to end Friday is basically 4-time. Well, we'll go elite first. It's 4 rope climbs, then a 15-meter handstand walk, 3 legless rope climbs, 15-meter handstand walk, 2 rope climbs, 15-meter handstand walk, 1 legless rope climb, 15-meter handstand walk. So, I mean, a pretty classic combo of the push and then the shoulder endurance. Basically, a grip workout. Like the elites, that's the handstand walk is irrelevant. Well, I mean, for every division, actually, we'll say every division. Scaled have somehow been given 3-meter handstand walk. Quite funny, but yeah, it's just a rope climb event basically. So yeah, elite's a bit different with having 4 legless in there with 6 normal. So I think a bit more tactical is even the right word. You've got to pace it just a bit differently. And then the RX division, it's exactly the same rep scheme, 4-3-2-1 rope climb, but there's no legless, and the handstand walk has been reduced to 9 meters, which is basically 30 foot. But yeah, I don't know for the RX. I think it's a bit of it's quite a bad scale basically. There's literally 0 separation. You don't even need to be fit to do it. You just got to climb a rope really fast. So we'll see how that goes. Basically a sprint event. The handstand walk's irrelevant. And yeah, there's it's
I told
really
you all there'd be salt, and here we are, event 2. I think what's not like it's a 10-minute time cap. I think if you're competent with rope climbs, this is literally it's just down to how fast you can handstand walk. I think the elite one, you will see people trip up because 3 legless rope climbs back to back. If you're pushing the pace in that first round, is going to be tough.
Yeah.
I am kind of hoping to watch people have on the legless rope climb, the final one, have a bit of an issue. I'd be excited to see that happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. The elite is a really good workout, I think. I think the handstand walk could have been longer, though, as well. Could have been at least 20 meters. I think the handstand walk for every division is basically irrelevant. Okay, maybe the scaled, because that's a bit harsh to give them a handstand walk, even though it's 3 meters.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so random. 3 meter. I don't think it has to be unbroken either.
No.
Yeah, it's not required. 3 meter doesn't have to be unbroken. So, yeah, very random.
No, you do the Justin Medeiros kick up, kick down, kick up, kick down. But even the RX handstand walk distance doesn't have to be unbroken either, which is, I know, is music to the ears of some members from our gym. as well.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the scale's very different. It's like
Yeah, dumbbell box
it's
step
not even
overs.
it's not even the same workout.
No,
Oh, 4 rope climbs to a 12 foot. That means RX and Elite probably is 15 foot then, because they've specified 12
yeah,
foot for
I
the
think it
scales.
was like it was a little bit below 15 is how it
Yeah, yeah.
looked when we did Origins, but near enough.
Yeah, yeah. So 4 rope climbs, then 3 meter handstand walk, then 24 dumbbell box step overs with 1 dumbbell, 3 rope climbs, 3 meter handstand walk, 24 dumbbell box step overs, 2 rope climbs. So that's very different.
I think
Don't know
as
why
scaled have fewer events across the weekend as well, don't they?
interesting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this can be a theme for a lot of the workouts. The RX has been reduced quite a lot compared to Elite, which I mean, we'll get into more, but it's a bit disappointing just because the Elite workouts and the RX were pretty good in the qualifiers in terms of I think the scaling was quite appropriate. In the qualifiers, it was literally only 10 kg less in weight, and everything else was basically kept the same, which I thought was pretty fair. And then yeah, you'll see in the rest of these workouts that they've just been changed quite a bit. Right, event 3, starting day 2. It is basically a 1 rep max snatch, but the way it's going to work is you have, I believe, 4 attempts, and then it's your best 3 of your 4 added together. So it's actually for like a total. So if you have 2 misses, so if you get 2 makes and 2 misses, you've basically just completely messed up that event. So you have to be a bit more conservative than you would usually be going for like a true 1 rep max. They've got a description of how it works. I haven't really read through exactly, but it's I think you've basically just got 1 attempt every 2.5 minutes, because it says a cool go every 30 seconds until each wave has completed the 4 attempts. And this way, the athletes will lift every 2.5 minutes, taking time in between to load their barbell and rest. And it just says the heaviest 3 successful lifts from your 4 attempts will be combined to form a total. But yeah, so can't work out if that's you get as many attempts as possible in that 30 seconds. So if you miss, you can go again, or if it's literally just get 1 attempt. Yeah, which again just adds, which is not bad. Like adds a lot more pressure. That's pretty much pure weightlifting. Obviously, get only 3 attempts in pure weightlifting, but in this, 4 attempts. Yeah, best 3. So yeah, you have to be a bit more tactical in terms of what you go for. I mean, I think for most people, a smart strategy would be go around you at 90% if it's feeling okay. And then if you hit it, just go a bit up from there, basically, and try work towards your 1 rep max if it's feeling good. Obviously, if it's not, you're going to have to go a bit below that. But that's what you're probably going to have to work around. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the right event, and it's the same for everyone. So no qualms with that. Pretty standard strength test, just with a little twist on the strategy of it. But yeah. Right, event 4. So second event of day 2. We've got the swim event. So this was teased about 8-9 weeks ago now that there was going to be a swim. We didn't know if it was going to be on its own or with a run or with other things. And then they released an email probably 4 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, saying that it was going to be. Well, they didn't actually say what it was. They said we're not going to be providing wetsuits because it might interfere with other movements in the workout. So just from that wording, most people assumed, okay, it's going to be like a CrossFit Metcon, but with a swim in there, but with other movements. So the workout itself for the elites is 60 dumbbell deadlifts at 2 dumbbells, 30 kg for the guys, 22.5 for the ladies. Then a swim, but no distance put on there. Then you come out, you do 30 shoulder overheads with the 2 dumbbells, you swim again, and then you finish off with 60 dumbbell deadlifts again. And then for the RX, it just says the swim distance has been reduced and the dumbbell weight is 22.5 for the guys and 15 kg for the ladies. And then scaled, it says swim distance reduced as well. And then they've got just lighter weight, but it's kettlebells instead of dumbbells, 16 kg for the guys and 12 for the ladies. Yeah, I don't know what you think of these, Ben, but I think I'm just looking at it with the other tests coming up. I think they could have maybe done more with the dumbbell movements. I think having 120 deadlifts is a bit redundant. I don't mind the shoulder overhead, but it could have maybe gone. I was thinking in my head, maybe 50 dumbbell deadlifts, like 40 front squats with the dumbbells, and then maybe 30, let's say, hang snatches with the swims in between. Like change the movements a bit. More so also because there's not much like leg endurance work. I feel like in the variety of tests, that would just been one way to get some more leg work in, rather than just 120 reps of hinging. But so I mean, it's all right. Again, we don't know how long the swim is, because to balance out the timing of how long those dumbbell movements are going to take, I would say the swim has to be, let's say, one lap. Well, it's like at least 100 meters to 150, but I don't think it will be that long. But I don't know. Don't know. So
I think so they essentially, for the next 3 workouts, you are squatting or a variation of squatting. So I get that, and we'll come on to it, but event 5, the volume isn't too high. Event 6, there's lunging. So I guess they sort of like tick that box off for saying, okay, yeah, we've got some sort of a squatting pattern. And then potentially the final has cleans in it at a relatively heavy weight. Now,
well,
not everyone.
Is it
okay, sorry, for elite, not for RX. Because I think I could do that workout. And place it right.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, sums it up.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Even Ben Bodycom thinks he could tackle an RX workout at UK Champs.
I might give it a go, actually, if I get some time. But without the ring muscle up bind. I do the ring muscle up strict. But yeah, I think for event 4, it's difficult to know when we don't know how long that swim is, to understand like what the intensity stimulus is. I think mainly leaning more towards doing something a little bit more overhead, I think, in my opinion, would be a little bit better. And definitely having 3 separate movements as opposed to just 120 deadlifts. I think 120 deadlifts are near enough redundant, but that's gonna be a fun little race to watch. Right at the end, of who can
break
throw their back out. Who's comfortable with their back breaking on this? You just imagine a load of seminar staff wandering around, just like, "Hi guys, that's not how you deadlift." Everyone just like curved back.
Well, it's gonna be. I don't know where they're gonna do it, because I assume you could probably have a little mat to do your deadlifts on to not damage the dumbbell somewhere. But I've looked at where the lake is. It's very stony around the water's edge. So they said you have to wear shoes. So I believe probably in the transition area, you have to put your shoes on, run off the shore bit, and then onto, like, I don't know, the side, the pavement or grass area. And that's where you do your dumbbell work. I just imagine that just the general public walking around and just seeing like 20 guys in their speedos just like fully rounding over, like it just looks so silly. But I really like the idea of doing a swim with other movements, because that's quite cool. Whenever there's a swim involved, it's usually 95% of the time just long endurance with a run, or that's it. So, or like with other bits in the water. So I do really like having it mixed with like the dumbbells, but I just think the dumbbell movements, I think it's just a bit too much deadlifts. Just change it up a bit. But yeah.
And I think it's a 12-minute time cap as well, so we know it's fast. So you're gonna have to push that swim / wade /
I can say the run in the water. I don't know how deep it is, and if they're reducing the distance, it's shallower. So what should be literally a 50-meter just water run, like the Waterpalooza event? I don't know if you're like 3 years ago. It's just the shoreline run, like knee-deep water. But yeah, I laugh, but that's probably what it's going to be.
All the athletes just splashing each other as they get in the water.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. Moving on to event 5. So this is the last one of day 2 to finish the day. It's called sprint.
Sorry. I just can't wait to listen to this.
So the elite workout, you have a 2-minute window. It's basically a 2-minute time cap to do 21 chest to bar, 21 box jump overs at 24 inches and 20 inches for ladies, and then 15 overhead squats at 75 kg for the guys and 48 kg for the ladies. And then you rest 1 minute. I believe that's actually just at when the cap ends. So if you finish it in 1:30, you still get the extra 30 seconds rest. So you rest 1 minute, like / transition time, and then you go straight back into another sprint. 15 bar muscle ups for the guys, 12 for the ladies, and then it's 9 burpee box jump overs at 24-inch for the guys, 20-inch for the ladies, and then 9 thrusters at 75 kg and 48 kg. So that's elite. So I mean, as I say, it is an absolute sprint. Like nothing, I feel nothing in that's going to trip them up. The weight is a bit hefty though. Like 15 overhead squats, 75 kg is not like still doable. It's, as you said in a lot, like it's not high volume of squatting, but that is definitely going to hit you on the last. You're going to feel it on the last 5 reps or so. So I do like it. I like the workout. But then the RX version was just completely stripped back. I think they accidentally thought we were scaled, but so it's the same format in a 2-minute window, but instead of chest to bar, they gave us pull-ups, 21 pull-ups, 21 box jump overs, and 15 overhead squats at 61 kg for the guys, 43 kg for ladies. Rest that minute, and then you go back into part B, which for RX is 15 chest to bar pull-ups, 12 for the ladies, and then 9 burpee box jump overs, and then 9 thrusters at 61/43 kg. But yeah, so the bar muscle ups were taken out for RX, which I think is just a bit silly, basically. As I said, like the qualifiers were really good. So they kept everything the same, the gymnastics, the volume. The only thing they changed was just the weight, and didn't even change it that much, like 10 kg on the thruster and the deadlift. And that was it. So I don't know. Again, it's just a bit disappointing because I feel like RX is basically doing middle ground style workouts now. Don't really know what the reasons are for that. Obviously, we've speculated because they've dropped back so much in terms of the level, in terms of the qualifiers. They've had to backfill quite far. So maybe the back end level, they're worried about them not being able to do the workouts, or they just want to give everyone a good chance to at least do the full workout. So maybe that's their reasoning.
So yeah, for context, how many people were meant to qualify in RX?
I think only originally 60. Then they opened it up to 80.
It.
Yeah, and then they've obviously backfilled to a point where I think probably someone in like 150th has got into it. So
150th.
I wouldn't. Well, that's just a guess, but the way they've made these workouts,
they've definitely gone to 100th
at least.
At
probably
least
more than that.
So
yeah,
I don't know how much further they've gone than that.
I'd guess at least another 20-30 spots. I was just saying 150 just to be general, but they've 100% gone further than 100th.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the workout, and then scaled. I don't think they're doing that workout. I think it just says not applicable.
No, they're not.
So yeah, they're not doing that one. But yeah, as I said, I think it's a good work. Like the elite workout's really good. They could have just made it exactly the same for RX and just load the weight. Just what they did for the weight, and then just keep the bar muscle ups in there because that's a good separator. The theme of the RX workout so far is there's not much separation. When I say not much separation, I mean more just between the top, let's say 20 people doing the competition probably. Obviously, there'll still be separation between people who are like qualified 80th, but for that top 20, literally so far, there's not much. In terms of the Metcons, obviously like the lift, there'll be separation, and the 5K, there'll be a bit of separation, but on the rope climb, handstand walk, and this sprint one, literally it's just movement speed, and they're not long enough that you need to rely on like a general fitness base to keep you going. Like it's going to be over before you start hurting. So I don't know, just movement speed. And then like this one as well with the overhead squats in a sprint event, that just leaves it up to judging issues. You need one no rep, and that's basically you going from a possible good finish to a bad finish because it's just so short. But yeah, so you better move well, move fast, and also pray your judge is nice. So that's probably no way else to say on that event.
Dear.
That's it really.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Event 6, right, final day. So again, this is quite a cool workout for the elites. It's for time 60 cal bike for the guys, 48 for the ladies. Then it says 3 strongman bag carry lengths, 100 kg for the guys, 75 kg for the ladies, and then a kettlebell suitcase lunge at 24 kg kettlebells and 16 for the ladies. And then the reps go down. So it's 40 cal / 32 cal, and then it's 2 lengths with the strong with the bag carry. Then the lunge changes, so it goes to a front rack position, and then the cows on the third round come down to 20 and 16, and it's 1 length bag carry, and then the kettlebell lunge goes to an overhead lunge. So I think it's quite a cool workout, 60-minute time cap. So that'll be like the longer, grindier metcon of the competition. I really like the weight of the bag. That's like a really good heavy bag. Like not many people play around with a 100 kg bag. It'll be interesting to see how long the distance is, because on the description it says there and back. So if it's a 25 foot, that's going to be 150 foot on the first round. That's quite a lot. That's not that's not a short distance with a 100 kg bag just on the first round. And then I assume the kettlebell lunge would probably be just there and maybe just there and back with 2 times 24 kg. Just once, like 50 foot lunge, something like that. Or maybe it could only be 25 foot. You go there, out, back. You go out and then you come back, then you go out again. But it's hard to say without.
Yeah, you lunge to the end of the lane and back carrying in a suitcase hold. So the distance on the handstand walk was 15 meters, and that was 1 unbroken bit, right? So I'm guessing the way they got their lane set up, it'll be 15 meters, so maybe like a 30-meter lunge. So there and back, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, I'll just read the description. Actually, they've made a little mistake. They said when the athletes return to kettlebells, they begin the third round with a further 20/16 cal bike effort. And it says, following the row, the athletes make their way to strongman bag carry.
Because that's the only machine, isn't it?
Yeah, bike. That's it. There's no rowing. Nothing else. And we don't know what bike it is.
They are selling off equipment.
A lot. They've got runners, bikes, rowers, ski. I think that
ski erg, 700 quid.
Yeah, not bad, is it?
I think with the stand as well, which comparing it to Concept 2's website was £1,100.
There you go. But yeah, they haven't said what bike it is. I assume it's going to be an Echo bike, just because that's what the teams are using. So I doubt they'll have other bikes, but you never know. And then the RX variation again is quite a big drop off. So they reduced the cals quite substantially. So it's now 50 cals for the guys, 40 for the ladies, and it's 35, 28, 20, 16. And the bag was reduced loads. It's down to 75 kg for the guys, 50 kg for the ladies, and then the big talking point, instead of 2 kettlebells, we're giving 1 kettlebell, single arm kettlebell variation for lunges at 24 kg for the guys and 16 kg for the ladies. But yeah, so again, what went from quite a cool workout, I think just became an absolute meme of a workout again. So yeah, can't wait to basically do a bike event. The bag, 75 kg, is basically irrelevant for anyone who can, carry some weight. And then again, 1 kettlebell at 24 kg. What's the point? What was actually the point?
I don't know. So let's just touch on that strongman one, the bag carry. Like, if that's 90 meters, are we saying? I don't I know for 70. Like it's gonna get you. I think.
Yeah, it will get you.
I think it's gonna be one of those.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying
have
it's
you
not going to
tested
hurt.
this one yet?
I did what I thought the RX version would be.
Oh, okay.
So I did it a lot harder, and I thought, this would be a tough, good test. So that's why I think this workout's just silly now, because the bag is just, it should have been an 85 kg bag for the guys, and it should have been still 2 kettlebells, either exactly the same weight or just drop it to 20 kg kettlebells. But yeah, single kettlebell just a bit silly. I don't know. We shall see. Again, it's hard to say exactly with just the unknown distance on the bag, but again, it just changes it in terms of, it just becomes basically a bike event, I feel like, now for RX, whereas I feel like the elite is really, the bike's important, but every bit's important in the elite. Like all 3 parts, the bike, the carry, and the lunge all matter. Whereas I feel like looking at the RX, it's like just the bike. If you come off the bike first, are you really going to get past carrying a 75 kg sandbag when you're all waddling with it? And then the lunge, again, it's just movement speed. You just got to lunge really fast. It's 1 kettlebell. You're not really going to fail a single kettlebell lunge, I don't think. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
No, that'll catch people out overhead, mate. Like
Maybe.
100%.
I don't know.
You're gonna get people who are ridiculously struggling with that overhead position.
Yeah, I mean,
Which
well,
like I quite like seeing like an overhead lunge because
yeah,
it challenges positions as well, particularly when your posterior chain is like completely done from the latter 2 rounds. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, I like the movements, but again, I just
Yeah,
I wish it was double. Just that'll really test someone. But yeah, it is what it is. And then the scaled is again very similar, but the guys have a 50 kg sandbag. The ladies have two 16 kg kettlebell front rack carry instead of the sandbag. And
I think that's worse.
Yeah, that'd be quite spicy. That high front rack position.
Yeah.
And then, well, it depends what they do. If you can rest it on your shoulders, like in that trap area like this, that's different to having it
just
out
up here.
with your wings out. Yeah. So, and then they've got the single arm kettlebell variations as well for lunges, just at a lighter weight. And their cows have come down as well. There's 40, 30, 20 for the guys and 32, 24, 16 for the ladies. But yeah, so that's supposed to be the longer, grindier Metcon, which I still think it will be. But again, just from the RX side of things, I think there's going to be, again, 10 to 20 people who it's just going to come down to the bike and how quick you can do your lunges, basically. But the elite workout's cool. Like, I think it's a really good workout. So it'd be cool to watch that. And then the final event, called Final. So again, a nice cool name for it. Whoever came up with these names, literally probably got an email like, right, we need the names of these workouts. We've got 5 minutes before they go live. And he just quickly went through and just named them. So the final for elite, it's 24 ring muscle ups for the guys, 18 for the ladies, and then it's 3 rounds, 100 double unders, and then 6 cleans at 100 kg for guys and 70 for the ladies. And then the RX version, it was just reduced on the muscle ups to 18 for the guys, 12 for the ladies. And the clean weight was dropped to 84 kg for the guys, 56 for the ladies. And scaled is 18 total ring for the guys, 16 for the ladies. And the cleans were dropped to 61/43 kg. And they got single unders. I mean, I think it's quite good workout for a final. What are you laughing at?
Sorry, scaled of handstand walks, but single unders.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. And toes to ring instead of muscle ups, but yeah.
Sorry, what is that?
I mean, I was half expecting to see RX have toes to ring as well, but they kept the muscle ups at least. So I think it's quite a cool workout for a final. It's not like a full out sprint that the SID usually have for a final. It's a bit more of like that middle distance Metcon type feel. I like the buy-in.
They did a workout with the double under cleans
at SID.
At SID, yeah, a couple of years back,
wasn't they? Yeah, the one with Fraser. It was just it was basically a ladder, but you had to do 30 dubs between each set.
Yeah,
just a weight. It was like 10 cleans at 100, 8 at 110, 6 at 120, 4 at 130, like 2 at 140 or something. And you had like do 30 dubs before each set. That was that workout that year. But they did a sprint workout that year where it was 21 cow ski, 15 bar facing burpees, and 9 overhead squats at 100 to finish. That's quite a cool event. But yeah, I mean, I think the workout's quite good. I mean, for the elites, 24 buy-in for ring muscle ups for the guys and 18 for ladies isn't easy, especially at the end of the weekend. You'll be a bit tired. So if you're doing that unbroken, which is fairly unlikely, probably going 2 sets for elites. And then the 3 rounds, 100 dubs and 6 cleans. Yeah, the weight is that moderate to heavy. So it won't be touch and go, especially with the dubs in there. You're going to have to be breaking it. So, I mean, I tested it, the RX version, but with 24 muscle ups instead of 18. I did a slightly heavier barbell because I thought it'd be probably 90 kg. So it was a good workout. I think it's probably actually the best like Metcon of all of them in terms of just like well balanced. But yeah, I think it'd be a good race. RX, I mean, 18 ring. I think it's probably this is the best scaled one in terms of like the variation they made. It's not. I think it's been reduced fairly. So 18 ring muscle ups. It's probably a fair amount for the RX guys and 12 for the ladies. And then the weight's probably a bit light. Could have just kept it at 90 kg, but then keeping the dubs in there. That's fine. So I think it's probably the best one in terms of the changes they made. I think it'll be all right, that last one.
I really like it. I think it's a good workout. So yeah, I really like it. It'll be a fun finish as well, because I think the loading for RX is good enough that people can push it. And so they'll get to that point where it's like, oh, okay, like I need to push hard here. And so you'll see people tripping on dubs, and it like if the leaderboard is really close, I think that could be a really interesting final event.
Yeah, I just like it also because it doesn't like the theme of the others doesn't really rely on movement speed and like no, this actually need to be quite fit and you're not going to win it like straight away just moving fast on the ring muscle ups. There's still a lot of work to do when you come off the rings. So yeah, I think the final's quite a good one.
Do you think you're going to see people going unbroken on the first set of rings and then completely blowing up? I think for elite you might see it.
I mean, 24 is tough though because 30 ring muscle unbroken is like a gold standard elite level. So I don't know how many people in the field are going to have that capacity to get 24 and under the fatigue, because especially for elite, that sandbag workout before is going to take quite a bit out of you. So I don't know if you're going to have the juice to bosh out 24 unbroken. And if, as you said, if you do, I think you're going to be a bit gassed going into the first set of double unders. Because I know when I tested it, I was the same. Like the first round of double unders was actually the hardest bit. You're just trying to get your heart rate down a bit, and then after the first set of cleans, when you go back to the second round of double unders, like you start to get into a rhythm, and you like your heart rate lowers a bit. So I think that should be the theme of the workout for everyone. I mean, 18 is interesting for RX because, as I said, there'll be people in there who could definitely do that. And it depends on where you sit in the leaderboards and X, Y, Z, how you're feeling. So yeah, definitely. I think 24 for RX would have made it for most people anywhere between 2 to 4 sets, whereas 18 now opens up for a lot more people to go 2 sets, maybe 3. But yeah, so interesting.
Yeah, they haven't released the actual leaderboard yet. So I'm having to manually scroll through the sheet that is done by first name alphabetically to try and figure out who's which athletes. The female side looks like we've got a number of the people who qualified at the top who've actually committed to competing. So Ella Vunga, despite qualifying for the games, has also come here. So I don't know whether she's doing this sort of tune-up for the games or whether
because she's knows she's gonna get cut, so she needs to get some extra workouts in.
Savage, absolute savage. But on the male elite side, doesn't like Enrico Zanoni, who was the number one qualifier coming out of the qualifier, is turning up, and it doesn't look like many semis athletes have sort of accepted the invite that they've taken. So no Harry Lightfoot. I think Reggie's still injured. Because I'm just seeing if there's anyone worth calling out who might do quite well. Like Connor Pinnington's in there.
Yeah, he'll do well.
Yeah, Moritz Neumann's doing it as an individual as well. He obviously made it as a team. Nicola Bidate is turning up as well. He'll do okay. PD Savage as well. Interested, like PD's a good athlete. I think this is heavy enough that it'll do very well for him. Just depends what his training's looking like at the moment, because I know he's sort of scaled back a little bit. Is there anyone else who's worth calling out on the male elite side? Tig Lawless, Tiago Luces is Portuguese. He was one of the top qualifiers as well. I think he did well at semis. And Victor Helsinghoff, he did pretty well at semis as well, didn't he?
Yeah, if you say so. I can't remember. I don't recognize that name.
Okay. Oh well. And then female side of things, Taylor Howe's there. He'll do quite well. Karis Webster is also there as well. So from a British standpoint, oh no, Harry Lightfoot is competing. I take it back. So yeah, I think it'll just be a case of seeing. So he'll obviously want to sort of put up a decent go of it after semi-finals. So it'll be good to see how he does in person. Yeah, that's it from me. I'm excited to see it. Excuse me. I don't know where that came from. I think it's going to be a great weekend of competing. If you're around the Midlands area, I'd recommend going along to it. It's always fun to watch, and I think we've got some relatively high level competitors as well. So yeah, excited to see how it goes. Do you want me to run through the teams or?
Well, more just timing. I need to go soon, so.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll be quick. Essentially, like they haven't because they've got a lot of the worm. They haven't reduced a lot of the worm workload for teams, or made that many changes. And as always with SID, the team workouts are really a really strong set of team workouts. They've actually got synchro dumbbell snatch in the swim workout, so it's a male conga of not to show you what you're missing, but 60 dumbbell deadlifts, swim, 30 synchro dumbbell snatch, male, and then female, same thing.
I think the team workouts are really good. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They've got some cool stuff in there. They got handstand pirouettes, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
They got some heavy weight as well. There's like synchro muscle up workout, like bar and ring, and then they've got
event 7 is 30 synchro bar and ring muscle ups, any pair, 15 grand to overhead at 120 and 90, like, which is heavy. And then pair 2 is what it says, is 15 synchro bar and ring, and then 9 snatches at 100 and 70.
Yeah.
So the team competition is going to be a good one to watch as well. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be very. But yeah, the RX, they've definitely scaled down for the teams, but I think that probably makes sense. But yeah, it should be a great weekend. As I said, head along if you can. We'll be around. So yeah.
Get some merch. Give you a dysfunctional fitness podcast. What's it? Velcro bag sticker thing that everyone loves to add to their bags.
Or I will find a bit of paper and just write dysfunctional fitness podcast on it, and that is the extent of our merch currently.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So obviously, how are you feeling about it? Because we've obviously taken your views of how what you think about the scalings, etc. for RX.
My salty opinions.
I think, yeah. How are you feeling for the workout itself?
Yeah, all right.
For the weekend itself, yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be good. Tested a few of them. Yeah, they're pretty straightforward workouts. As I said to you, I think day 1 and 2, there's gonna be a lot of changes on the leaderboard all over the place. Just there's quite a variety, but then having basically 3 sprint workouts, like obviously the 2 back to back, plus the rope climb one. Again, seconds is literally going to probably split like loads of places. So I think there's going to be a lot of movement, and then I really think the leaderboard's only going to look. I honestly could go really down to the final event, and then because the last 2 are more well-rounded CrossFit type events that are going to last a bit longer than 3 minutes. So I think we might actually then, I don't know, it's going to be interesting. You might get people who are at the top who then fall back quite quickly just on the last 2 events, just because they've actually now had to work longer than 5 minutes. So we'll see. I think it'll be a lot of chop and changes, especially with the first few having a 5K and a lift. That always going to shake up the leaderboard. And then, yeah, the 3 short events, and then the swim one, which is undetermined at the moment based on the swim of how that's going to stack up. So I think it'll be actually quite exciting in terms of, just, the competition, side of things, of names moving all over the place. Hopefully there'll be good races because obviously the workouts are quite short and fast. But yeah, and I'm personally, feeling all right. So we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to actually mostly looking forward to doing a competition against my friends, like first time properly, like in person one. We're all in the same competition. So that'll be good, I think. So yeah.
No, I think it's I think it's gonna be a good laugh for the whole weekend. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it shakes out. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I think that's everything. I think next one will probably much be a recap of this event, and then it's pretty much getting close to the games as well. So recap of this event, and then another episode, maybe a games preview, and then it'll pretty much be there'll be games time. That'll be it, and then
And then we stop doing this because it's the end of the season. So
we'll have to do some. We'll have to do some different type of shows. We'll have to make up some little discussion
I've
things.
got I've made a list from when we initially started of things that I want to do, talking about how CrossFit can actually turn the games into a money-making scheme. Money-making scheme. How they can make the games profitable and the season profitable is kind of what I meant there.
Business masterclass with Ben Bodycom.
Yeah, with his politics degree, it's obvious that I'm a business god, aren't I? But excited for those conversations. Excited for the run up to the games. It's really not far away now. We're less than a month out, so you're seeing people rock up in the US and get acclimatized to it as well. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to touch on turf, but it doesn't take much to say that. What we'll just say is, Ben Fairley, you're an absolute fraud on the worm. That was a fun day.
Wow. Yeah, was it good?
Yeah, it was. It was good fun.
Turf? Yeah.
It was good. Good fun.
It seemed like everyone was there. It's crazy how many people turn up to it. But
well, we did the Saturday and I thought it was busy, but then apparently the Sunday was like 10 times busier.
Because I think they have the lower the intermediates or everyday.
There's like and it's like teams of sixes as well. And a lot more categories I think on the second day. Nice. So I think in like our division we did the elite men, but there's only like 30 teams. But then like and the Sunday, one of the categories was like everyday mixed or something. There's like 80 teams. So just in that category alone, there's like over double the amount of teams. So very busy.
Talk about making money.
Yeah.
Hand over fist. Very nice.
Yeah. Bumped into Carl Porter. That was a bit random. Didn't expect to see him there. But just awkwardly walked past him when I came out the toilet. That was fun.
Did you say hi?
No, like it was one of those ones where like I sort of saw him walking towards me. I didn't really think. I was like, "Is that Carl Porter?" Like, it looked a bit like him, but sometimes you go to these events and there's some people there who literally, try to look like these people. I was like, surely not. And then as we walked past each other, I was like, no, that's definitely Carl Porter. But he was just looking at his phone. But I was like, yeah, that's definitely him. And just kept on walking.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
it's nearly as good as my I had breakfast next to James Newbury story from Bali.
What you're saying is you saw someone with dreadlocks and you just assumed it was James Newbury.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I saw an Aussie guy eating vegan food and was like, you know what, that's probably James Newbury.
But cool. All right, we will catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.